Margaret ignored her servant and marched straight towards the door. For a moment she paused with her hand upon the doorknob. "Go back," her conscience ordered, but instead she gathered her courage and opened the door. The haze of tobacco cloaked the room, while the scent of ale filled the space. Men were playing cards in one corner, while others busied themselves with getting drunk as soon as possible. She stared at each of the men until at last she located Sinclair. He didn't move, but his mouth tightened when she stepped closer. Her presence was as out of place as a pig in a ballroom, and every male eye fastened upon her. Her conscience was still screeching at the idea. "Get out of here! Ladies do not associate with men at an inn. You cannot be here." Cain Sinclair's icy blue eyes regarded her as if she'd lost her mind. And perhaps she had, since she'd gone to such lengths to seek his help. "You don't belong here, lass," he said. "Amelia's been taken by Lord Lisford. You have to help me find her." Margaret crossed her arms, staring coolly at a drunkard whose attention was fixed upon her bosom. "How did you think these men would react to your presence?" her common sense chided. "They're nothing but rogues and vagrants. Any one of them would attack you, and then where would you be?" The Highlander leaned back in his chair, his long black hair falling past his shoulders. He wore a brown and green kilt and a brown coat that revealed white shirt sleeves rolled against his forearms. A matching length of plaid was draped across the shirt, fastened at the shoulder with an iron brooch. At his waist he wore a leather sporran. A faint scar edged his lower arm, a reminder that he'd been in many fights. Somehow it made her feel somewhat safer, knowing that Sinclair could protect her far better than the elderly footman who had accompanied her. "Come with me, and I'll tell you more about what happened," Margaret urged. The sooner she left this place, the better she would feel. The question was whether or not he would help her. "Do your parents know?" he asked softly. She shrugged. "I didn't tell them. I want to find Amelia before any harm is done." They would find out soon enough, but more than that, she felt a sense of responsibility. She was supposed to have chaperoned Amelia at the ball. If she'd remained at her sister's side at every moment, this wouldn't have happened. Her guilt was a hair shirt against her conscience. This was her fault without question, and she had to atone for it, no matter the cost to her own reputation. Sinclair took a slow drink of his ale, studying her. She couldn't guess what he was thinking, but he needed to hurry up. "Why did you come to me, lass, instead of the police?" His lazy tone held a hint of wickedness, and she faltered. Because I know you'll find her. I know you won't let any harm come to her. And I trust you more than any man." She drew closer and reached for his hand. It felt as if she'd thrown out every shred of decent behaviour. A wildness thrummed in her blood as her fingers laced in his. "Because I need your help," she whispered. His thumb brushed the edge of her palm in a silent caress that echoed deep inside. His rough hands were calloused, but his touch was light enough to set her senses on fire. What did that say about her, that she would be so attracted to a man so inappropriate? She was a good girl. She obeyed the rules, listened to her parents, and never wore a gown with a daring neckline. All her life she'd been a model of proper behaviour. And yet, right now, she realised that she was asking this man to come with her, to be alone with her in a coach for hours on end. "Don't do this," her sense of propriety begged. "You cannot behave in this way. It's not right." But she met his gaze steadily and said, "Please." There were 1,000 reasons why he should tell her no. Cain Sinclair knew that Margaret wasn't thinking clearly. She was upset and angry that her sister had been taken by Lisford. Her pleas had naught to do with common sense, and they were born of desperation. "I'm no the man who can help you, lass," he said, keeping his voice low. She was the daughter of a baron, while he was the son of nobody. Even now, she wore a ball gown that cost more than his